no doubt that the holy and the sacred books of the Torah evidence to the fact that at times God the Almighty directed His chosen, the first chosen people, Israel, to go and destroy certain nations and possess their land. But all the people of those nations were pagan. They neither honored the one true and the Almighty God, nor were they descendants of the first prophet and the father of faith, namely Abraham or Abraham in the anglicized form of the name. On the contrary, even in the very first book of the Torah, called the Genesis, we see that Abraham, pleading with God the Almighty concerning his plans to destroy the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, he, with all due respect before his Creator, takes up the plea and questions his Creator, God the Almighty, who appeared to him while he was sitting in front of his tent, proclaiming that his wife Sarah would bear a child in Abraham's old age. And when Abraham, after serving them diligently with food and drinks, goes to see them off, the Almighty reveals his plan of destroying Sodom and Gomorrah due to the sin committed by the people. And Abraham takes up himself to question God the Almighty whether he would be ready to spare the place, if in those places of deemed destruction 50, 45, 40, 30, 20, even 10 innocent individuals were found. And God the Almighty assures Abraham that he would spare those places even if 10 righteous individuals were found. I'm obliged to raise the question whether there are not at least 10 righteous individuals in Judea and Samaria, also known as Gaza, especially in the light of the fact that those people also call Abraham the father of their faith, and accept the doctrines laid down by many of the prophets, including Moses, Daniel, and many of the prophets who were recognized as true prophets of God the Almighty, sent to his first chosen race, Israel. Likewise, we also see the warnings given to us by various other prophets, even in proclaiming the commandments of God the Almighty. For instance, Moses himself says that when people go with a sickle and remove the grain and put the grain into the barn, they should leave some behind for the widows, the orphans, and the aliens or the strangers. Likewise, Prophet Jeremiah proclaims that we should treat the strangers on our land as if they were natives, as if they were native people. We should not oppress the stranger and the alien, nor deprive them of their rights. Likewise, Prophet Isaiah says we should share food, which I believe includes water and other necessities, including medicine. And indeed, the prophet Ezekiel says the father should not pay for the sin of the children, and the children should not pay for the sin of their fathers. If we truly believe in one God, the Almighty, the righteous judge, as called by Abraham himself in the aforesaid passage to which I referred in the book of Genesis, then we must obey his commandments. We should spare the righteous and not destroy the righteous with the wicked. We have no right to destroy the innocent ones with the wicked, regardless of the fact that they even call themselves the children of the same prophet, Abraham or Abraham. People are dying of starvation in Judea and Samaria, in Gaza. I heard interviews, at least one gentleman speaking on behalf of the state of Israel, who said that a third of those people killed in Gaza were terrorists. Even if this were true, assuming that this particular allegation was a true statement, I still am obliged to raise the question with all due respect: what about the remaining two-thirds of the people who also call themselves children of Abraham, claiming Abraham to be their father and the very founder of their faith? Can we justify our deeds in killing the innocent with the offenders, whom we call the terrorists? I spoke out very loudly when, on October the 7th of the Gregorian year 2023, Hamas, or their representatives, trespassed onto the soil of the state of Israel and violated, killed and abducted a number of thousands of people. I condemned the acts of Hamas and spoke out very loudly, even in justifying the war against Hamas, declared and prosecuted by the state of Israel. I spoke out against the acts carried out by the Houthis, the Hezbollah, and also the Islamic Republic of Iran. And I do not regret what I said. Notwithstanding, I find there is no justification befitting either the Torah or the international law, which justifies the starving of people of Judea and Samaria, also called Gaza, to death. some 60,000 people already died since October the 8th, 2023. And there are hundreds and thousands of people, if not even a larger number, who are at the brink of starvation and even are starving to death. I have great regards for the state of Israel. I myself have great honor for the 10 Commandments. I myself try to stay at home over Shabbats, in English Sabbaths. I try to follow the rules of kosher and obey those days of solemn rest as directed by the prophets through the sacred Torah. But I fail to see any justification whatsoever of the action carried out at this very moment in starving the people of Judea and Samaria and Gaza to death, even by causing famine while food is being packed and remains to be distributed, and such food is decomposing because there is no guarantee for the distributors that they themselves are not going to be killed by Israeli shelling or missiles or bullets. I therefore, with all due respect and all due regards, call upon His Excellency the President of the State of Israel, the Honorable Prime Minister, and all those who are proposing this particular action of starving people to death to recall the warnings given to all of us through the holy prophets, even the descendants of Abraham, while bidding all of you a solemn night and saying, Shalom Aleichem, peace be upon you. May we truly seek and find peace, trusting our Creator.